Okay, so it's day 5 after beginning chemo, and today we're just going to talk a little bit more about the side effects, and also I've had some questions about what were the symptoms I had that led me to even get a colonoscopy in the first place. So let's dive in. Okay, so yesterday was day 4, and I got to say that was so far the first day that I really didn't feel very good. Actually woke up last night and had to throw up, so a little graphic, but that was an interesting side effect. I think I can best describe it as it sort of feels like having a hangover. You know, there's kind of a little bit of a dullness in your head, and just an overall, you know, how you feel if you went out and just went on a bender and the next day you're just kind of like not running on all 8 cylinders. That's kind of how I feel. Feeling a little better today. A little bit of constipation, I think, going along with this, and some of the side effects they talked about were that you could have diarrhea, you could have constipation. I mean, everything. It's kind of both sides of the worst possible things that can go on with you. They give you all of those choices, so basically just about anything could happen. And so in my case, this is what has happened. So I did get nauseous yesterday for the first time. Not nauseous today particularly. Not particularly hungry. Seem to be able to eat normal, I think normal, but maybe I'm eating a little less than I would normally eat. The appetite's really not there, and just the general pressure in my stomach is there. So I want to just address, you know, the leading up to this whole diagnosis, symptoms that I had. I never really had symptoms that led me to get a colonoscopy. That's not why I got the colonoscopy. I got the colonoscopy just because I put it off, and not even every once a year really, I would go visit my doctor, just because if you don't visit your doctor often enough, you lose your doctor. So just in case I needed a doctor, I would visit my doctor. I also had a CDL, a commercial driver's license, so I'd get an annual physical for that, which didn't entail very much really. They just looked at me and said, "Man, you're in great shape, so what do we got to do?" I mean, they're mostly looking at guys that have been sitting in a truck half their life and they're 200 pounds overweight, and those are the guys they're concerned about. But so that was just sort of a routine deal. The only reason I got the colonoscopy was just because I'm about to turn 65, and I was just about to do a race, and I thought, you know, maybe I should actually do this. So I did it more as just a routine thing. However, I have had symptoms that I just didn't realize were what they were, and the symptoms I had were just this bloating feeling, I don't know if even bloating is the right way to describe it, a pressure in my stomach. And probably 8 or 9 years ago, I went in to deal with this, and occasionally, and this is a little bit gross, but occasionally I'd have blood when I used the bathroom. So that became more frequent actually, and so I did one of my routine physicals. Oh, actually, it wasn't a routine physical. I went in specifically for the pressure in my stomach, and the doctor, I believe even back then, recommended I get a colonoscopy, but he said, you know, it's probably diverticulitis, which I won't try and describe completely, but you can look it up. It's a condition that's fairly common, and they treat it with antibiotics. And so he gave me antibiotics. I took them. That really didn't solve the problem, but in my mind, at least, it felt like it got a little bit better. And that was at a point in my life where I was starting to try to eat more towards the keto, paleo side of the equation, and that probably helped also relieve the problem a little bit. But in any case, it didn't. The problem persisted, and the bleeding and the pressure continued. But it was just, I think maybe it's part of the mentality of trying to be an athlete and doing the things that I do physically, where you just kind of push through physical difficulties, and you just how you treat them. It's just one more thing you got to push yourself through. No big deal. Keep on going. So as far as symptoms go, that's it. Just some pressure down below and a little bit of bleeding, and even the bleeding was written off as, you know, part of the races that I do, the workouts that I do, lifting heavy things, and it's possible to have a hemorrhoid or that potentially could bleed, and that's what we kind of determined that it was. So those were the symptoms. So I guess the important thing is my symptoms were I guess, kind of relatively minor. They might having those symptoms might be scary to some people. For whatever reason, they didn't scare me that much. They concerned me, but I didn't feel like it was anything. I mean, I just didn't ever expect that cancer was even a remote possibility. So I didn't do what I should have done, which was get a colonoscopy, and then I probably would have had a much easier outcome to this whole situation. That would be the single thing that I could recommend to anybody my age or even younger in your 40s. Get a colonoscopy, get started on that program so you're ahead of the curve, because this is a fairly common, apparently a fairly common cancer to get, and it's a fairly I think a fairly avoidable situation to find yourself in if you just deal with it early. So back to the side effects. I mean, we're another day into it. First treatment was on Monday. This is Friday. I feel a little better today. Hope to do something a little physical today. I'm planning on being able to work out by Monday. I still have I'm still supposed to wait for 10 days for this to heal up before I do any pressing movements or any overhead lifts or anything, but energy's a little off still yet today, but I feel better than yesterday, so hopefully by Monday I'll be ready to lift, and we'll do it. Instead of doing a symptoms video, we'll do a workout video. So once again, if you're getting value from these videos, please share them, like them, and thanks again for watching.